Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our August 2025 OC HMIS user meeting. If you haven't already done so, please enter your agency's name and your name in the chat box so that we can take attendance. On the agenda today, we have the HMIS participating agency schedule, privacy and personal identifying information guidance, participation in data entry and impact, gender data element, the HMIS account update and testing form knowledge base article, HMIS privacy, and HMIS Part 2 recertification reminder, anonymizing and privatizing client profile, new form for client record request, notes and public alerts, duplicate clients report, the longitudinal system analysis or LSA, project performance report, data and performance management meeting, training and resources, survey, holiday, and then finally Q&A and office hours. For the Q&A, we asked to better organize questions for the HMIS Help Desk team that receives during the meeting. Our team recommends that you submit questions through the Q&A option. We request that you keep your questions general and related to topics discussed in the meeting. Agency-specific questions is best supported through our HMIS Help Desk ticket submission, so our team is able to further investigate and provide assistance for your request. The HMIS participating agencies schedule is a list of items and reports throughout the year that we conduct as a team. Some of them are HUD related reports, some are Orange County required reports, and then Orange County requirements such as the agency audits and the user recertification. And then we have our lead meetings such as our user meeting and data performance management meetings. We understand that this particular slide is a bit of an eye chart, so we wanted to highlight a few things on the schedule that's coming up. We are currently conducting our agency audits. We've been scheduling them since July and they will go through December. So if you receive a scheduling audit ticket, please respond and schedule your earliest convenience. Our HMIS Part 2 recertification is ongoing with a due date of August 31st. And then PPR corrections. The homelessness prevention PPR corrections will be added to your agency's Dropbox this week. If you don't have a Goal 10 spreadsheet in your Dropbox, your agency did not have any exit data during the reporting period of July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2025. So this is a slide that we're going to highlight monthly. We wanted to highlight information regarding privacy and personal identifying information. So this is a reminder that client privacy and personal identifying information is important and should be protected for the client. We have best practices for sharing client information. Users should only use the client's unique identifier to identify clients in correspondence. This includes HMIS tickets, reports, work emails, and work-related instant messaging. If users must share additional client information such as name, date of birth, or social security number in a report or correspondence, please use an encrypted email or password protected file on your work network. If you're sending this report to HMIS, please use your agency's Dropbox. Another item we would like to highlight is HMIS data entry and performance impact. Data entered into HMIS is used to understand the characteristics of the people served through the OC system of care and how effectively clients are being served through this system of care. At the state and federal level, data is aggregated for Orange County and submitted to inform how effectively our COC is addressing homelessness as a system of care. Results of these reports impact the amount of funding our COC will receive from these entities. At the local level, in addition to reviewing data at the county level, data is also aggregated at the project level to inform how effective specific projects are at serving clients. Local funders use this data to determine which agencies and projects they want to fund. This means that accurate and complete data entry into HMIS is critical to ensure that your agency and our COC as a whole continues to receive the funding needed to address homelessness in our community. Data entry and data quality best practices. Search for a client record in HMIS prior to entering new clients to avoid duplicate profiles for the same client. We will be going over a duplicate client report later in the presentation that could help you identify these duplicate client profiles. Confirm name spelling, and review client documentation if possible to reduce data entry errors for name, date of birth, and social security number. Data entry into HMIS directly using entering data into HMIS directly instead of collecting data on a paper form. So when you're entering data into HMIS directly, you will likely make less mistakes versus transferring data from a paper form. Run data quality and performance reports at least quarterly to correct errors and identify areas for additional training. Review data quality and performance correction files sent from the HMIS team and update HMIS as needed. Review knowledge base article and training materials to understand how to collect specific data elements. So overall, we would like to sort of let the community know that your data entry is important. It should be as accurate as possible. We understand that we are humans and that there are data entry errors, which is why we have our data quality report cards and our project performance reports to sort of inform on what's going on in HMIS with agencies and programs. Elizabeth?
Morning, everyone. Um, our HMS team recently sent out a newsletter to all agency admins, and we wanted to send a friendly reminder regarding the gender data element. HUD has recently released an updated data standard which no longer require the collection of the gender data element. Instead, a new sex data element will be collected, which captures whether a client is male or female. Our OC HMS team anticipate that this data collection will begin August 1st. Prior to making any revisions to OC HMS, the COC would like to gather feedback from the HMS participating agency regarding the gender data element. HMS agency admins are advised to discuss with their team and complete the agency feedback gender element survey to share how your agency is currently utilizing the data element and whether removing this data element will have an impact on your agency. Please review the survey and provide a response by August 15th. Thank you.
Michaela?
Good morning, everyone. The HMIS Account and Update Testing Form knowledge base article walks agency administrators through each section of the form. What information is needed, common errors to avoid during data entry, which roles or access levels to request. This knowledge base article is designed to support agency administrators to select the appropriate role for their staff's job responsibilities and in return reducing account setup delays. The KB can be accessed directly through the HMIS Knowledge Base Library under the Agency Administrator category, and the form is listed on the OC HMIS website. The navigation to it is HMIS Forms and Documents, HMIS Data and Setup Forms, and the HMIS Account and Update Testing Form.
Thank you, Michaela. Amy?
Thank you, Diana. HMIS Privacy and Part 2 Recertification Reminder. The 2025 HMIS Part 2 recertification is available now. Agency administrators must submit the 2025 HMIS Part 2 recertification form for their users by August 31st to avoid having their accounts locked until recertification is completed. All HMIS users, including the read-only access type, will be required to complete the HMIS Privacy and Security online course. Users with data entry access will also be required to take the 2025 HMIS Part 2 recertification course, and users with read-only accounts are excluded from that portion of the course. Agency admins can run the Agency Active Users Report to review active users at their agency as needed by navigating to the Launchpad, going to Data Analysis, User Management, and run the Agency Active Users Report. And I'll be completing a demo in just a moment to share those steps.
Let me go ahead and stop sharing. Okay, Amy should be able to share. If not, please let me know. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Diana. All right, can everybody see my training account screen with OC Training Agency at the top?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. For the purposes of our demo today, as always, we'll be using our training account. As we're going to go ahead and proceed through the steps to run the Agency Active Users Report. You're going to start by navigating to the search screen where you can find the Launchpad. We're going to click on the Launchpad and then find the Reports button. Click on Reports, which will take you to the report library, but we're going to switch over to Data Analysis. Once you select Data Analysis, you'll find the Orange County System Reports drop-down bar. We're going to select the caret and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen where we'll find OC Agency Reports. And we're going to find User Management at the bottom of the screen. Under User Management, you'll find the Agency Active Users Report and select Run. This is what the report screen will look like. I'm going to close the visualization and open the data dropdown and the filters. The only filter you'll need to set is to add in the agency of interest. For today's demo, we're going to be running a Springfield agency as our demo agency. So I've plugged that into the agency's agency name. At that point, I can go ahead and select Run. And then the report will generate all of the users at my agency. It'll show you the user's first and last name, their email, and their primary access role, which is what we're looking for. So as you can see here, the two staff at Springfield Agency are Diana and Elizabeth. Diana has agency staff access and Elizabeth has read-only access. So from this report, I can see that both my users are active, so they will need to take the privacy and security training because all users of any access role type need to complete that training. But it is only Diana with her data entry role of agency staff that will need to complete the Part 2 recertification course as well. So you can, once you've run that report, if you'd like to download it, you can select the download button, which will give you the option to run the report as a CSV or an Excel sheet. Thank you,
Thank you,
Diana.
Amy. Thank you, Amy. And I just wanted to share as a reminder, let me go back over to my slides and slideshow. So I wanted to share that for the recertification, if you had users that came on after January 1st, 2025, they will not need to take the recertification. So this is only for users that are prior to January 1st, 2025. Okay, moving on. Hugo?
Good morning, everyone. Today I'll begin by talking about anonymized versus client profiles. Since Orange County HMIS functions as the data sharing platform, clients should be informed of their right to refuse or revoke their consent to share their information at any time. Clients who opt out of consenting to share their data can still have their data entered into a private or anonymized HMIS client record. New clients without an HMIS record who do not consent to share their information should have a private client record created for them. During client record creation, set the release of information permission status to no. A new private client record will be created for the client that is visible only to users at the agency that created the record. Users can then enter name, date of birth, and social security number into the private client profile as usual. Next slide, please. Existing clients with an HMIS record who revoke their consent to share their information should have their client record anonymized if more than one agency has complete data entry and provided services to the client. To anonymize the client record, users should upload a signed client revocation of consent form into the client's files tab. An agency administrator should then submit a ticket to the OC HMIS help desk with the client's unique identifier requesting to anonymize the client record. An anonymized client record will only be visible to users at the agencies that have served the client in the past. Any other agency that serves the client moving forward will need to create a separate private client record to record data. New client record request form. In May, the COC board approved updates to the OCHMS policies and procedures to implement a new client record request process. The updated full client record request process is now available on both the OCHMS website and in our client record requests KB article. These updated resources include our client record request documentation document that provides users and clients with a list of records and definitions for all reports that can be provided in the full client record request. A new client record request form is available that agency administrators can utilize to indicate what records a client is requesting to receive as part of their HMIS record. As you can see on the image on the right-hand side of the screen, this should be closely resembling what a new client record request form should look like on an agency administrator's end. Next slide, please. As a result of the new full client record request, clients can now request to view case notes entered into their HMIS record. Agencies may provide case notes at their discretion and are recommended to develop an internal policy on sharing case notes. Users can generate this information by using the client record request case notes report. The client record request case notes report can be located by navigating to Reports, then data analysis, then Orange County Clarity System reports, then client record request, then client record request case notes. When you're utilizing this report, please enter the client's HMIS ID and your agency name into the dashboard's filters to pull the report. And the image on the right-hand side of the screen should show you what the report would look like on a user's end. Next slide, please. At the time a client requests their HMIS record, users and clients must agree on a method to share the information that does not violate the privacy of the client's data. Client record requests may either be shared as paper documents received in person or as encrypted documents shared over secure email. Clients may request for users to review the files provided as part of their HMIS record with them. Upon request, users should schedule a time to meet with the client and should be prepared to explain each section of the full client record request files provided. Depending on the specific request, a full HMIS record may contain the client record request dashboard, client assessments, services, alerts, and location data, as well as coordinated entry data. Notes and public alerts. Users are responsible for assessing the needs of the client and coordinating the delivery of essential goods and services. Users should record this type of information into HMIS as either project-level case notes or housing notes. Case notes are entered into the Notes subtab of a client's project enrollment and should be used to track information related to the enrollment. Case notes are only visible to users at the agency that created the note. Users should enter case notes on the same day a session or incident occurred. Case notes should be paraphrased and include only relevant facts without jargon or other charged personal assumptions. For example, a good case note should be something along the lines of spoke with John Doe about his unemployment benefits and discussed opportunities to find employment. Next slide, please. Housing notes are entered into the Services subtab of a client's project enrollment and are used to coordinate housing eligibility and access, as well as client care. Housing notes are visible to all users within OCHMIS. Users should enter housing notes following the PIRP format, that is, purpose, intervention, response, and plan. Housing notes should include the purpose of the session, interventions the case manager applied, a client's response to the interventions, and next steps needed to achieve housing goals. Next slide, please. Public alerts are a type of note that is used during specific situations where it becomes necessary to inform your agency or several agencies of an urgent client situation or need. To create a public alert, users should navigate to the Client's Notes tab, click on the Add Alert button, and fill out the following information, such as title, agency, expiration date, and private, which is optional. Once all of this information is completed, you can click on the Save Changes button to record the alert. Once completed, a public alert banner will be displayed on the client's profile page until its expiration date. Next slide, please. Our vendor BitFocus has provided the following examples of situations in which public alerts would be helpful. For one, locating clients to offer services or referrals. For example, have John Doe call our agency for rental assistance. Number two, to indicate housing opportunities are available for a client. For example, inform Jane Doe that she has been matched to a permanent supportive housing opportunity. Number three, information regarding language access support. For example, client John Doe speaks Spanish as a primary language. And finally, number four, if the client has lost an important item or document, or an item or document has been found. For example, staff found Jane Doe's lost ID at our shelter.
Thank you, Hugo. Rachel?
Good morning, everyone. I hope each of you are doing well and staying cool this summer. The Orange County HMIS team wanted to share a refresher of a neat report with our community called the Duplicate Clients Report. This canned report is helpful to run before and after users create a new client profile. Users are advised to search HMIS to verify if there's already an existing client profile for the client before they create a new HMIS record. A process to help reduce duplicate HMIS records is to run this duplicate clients report and to request profile merges of confirmed duplicate records. This report provides a list of potential duplicate client files. The list is updated overnight for fresh data every 24 hours. This report also identifies client records with identical personal IDs. Personal IDs are automatically generated to tie potential duplicates together. This translates to the system first looks at the following fields to determine if the records are an exact match. So for PII, fields such as name, social security number, date of birth, and then for data quality fields such as quality of name, quality of social security number, and quality of date of birth. Next slide, please.
Okay, we'll be heading over to a demo of this report, so I'll go ahead and stop sharing so you can share, Rachel.
All right, thank you, Diana. For some reason, let me see. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Diana, can you confirm if you see the Clarity Training Site and OC Training Agency in the upper left-hand corner?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's see. So I'm going to give folks a moment in case they would like to follow along in the training site with me. Here you can see that I am in OC Training Agency, and then I will navigate over to the Rubik's Cube, also known as the Launch Pad. I'm going to click on Reports, and then I'm going to go to the caret here at Data Quality Reports, and then I'm going to expand that. And then I'm going to go here to DQXX110, duplicate clients. And then I'm going to run that report. And I'm going to ask for a web page for the report output format. There we go. Okay. All right. So here, if we look at this personal ID, we have what the report thinks is a potential duplicate, but we can see that the last name and first name and the last name and first name here are very different. And it looks like there's a placeholder for social security number, but some other pieces of information came up that flagged this as a potential duplicate, such as date of birth and gender, race and ethnicity, and veteran status. And so we ask that you please ensure that the client has a true duplicate profile prior to submitting a merge request to the OC HMIS help desk. All right, I'll go ahead and stop sharing and hand it back over to you, Diana.
Thank you, Rachel. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, let's go ahead and move on then. Linda?
Hello, everyone. So today I will be going over the LSA, which is also known as the Longitudinal System Analysis Report. So this report is pulled from HMIS and it is submitted to HUD annually, and this includes demographics, performance, household composition information, as well as patterns of system use. The data from each COC's LSAs is compiled to create the annual homeless assessment report, also known as AHAR, which is submitted to Congress. And it is used for strategic planning for federal, state, and local initiatives designed to prevent and end homelessness. So the report is pulled annually from October 1st through September 30th, and it is submitted to HUD in January. The current reporting period that we will be looking at is October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. And these are the project types that are applicable to the LSA. It includes street outreach, emergency shelter, transitional housing, permanent supportive housing, rapid rehousing, and other permanent housing. So what is included in the LSA? So this report includes characteristics of the population that is experiencing homelessness. It also includes information on how people are experiencing homelessness through the system of care. And this is done by analyzing what is called pathways, such as, are these clients going through emergency shelter? Are they going to transitional housing after? And how are they moving through the system? And this includes how long people are homeless for, how often are they exiting to permanent housing, and whether or not they are returning to the system of care after being housed. So this report can be found on our website and includes data for the system of care as a whole. So today we will go over specific populations and household types that are flowing through the system of care. And we will be looking at adults only households without veterans, family households, child and youth households, adults only households with veterans. So the characteristics of these populations, on the bottom of the graph, you'll see each of the household types that I previously mentioned. The blue bar is going to represent the domestic violence survivors. Orange is going to be chronically homeless. Green is going to be disabled but not chronically homeless. And then last, for the yellow bar, we have first-time homeless. So the purple box on the left-hand side, this is highlighting that 80% of clients in adult-only households without a veteran are either chronically homeless or disabled. You can see that there is a higher proportion of DV survivors in families than any other groups, which is highlighted in the first red box here. The second red box shows that half of families are homeless for the first time. The third red box that is highlighted here shows that 3 out of 4 clients, 72% in a child and youth household, are also homeless for the first time. And then for the last box here, almost half of the clients in adult-only households with veteran are disabled, and that's here in the blue box. Next, I want to go over pathways through the system of care. The most common way clients are being served through the system of care is either through emergency shelter or rapid rehousing. Here in the graph, each bar represents a household type. So the blue represents the percentage of clients that are only going through emergency shelter, while orange are for clients that are going through rapid rehousing. So you can see here that most adults only households without veterans and child and youth households are being served through emergency shelter only. while half of families and adult-only households with veterans are being served through rapid rehousing. Next, I want to go over permanent housing exits. So over here, we have a graph with all the household types listed on the left-hand side. We have the blue bars, which represent clients in emergency shelter, and orange bars representing clients in rapid rehousing. The purple highlight on the graph shows the most common result for that group. So, for example, we have 88% of clients in adult-only households without veterans that are going through emergency shelter, and only 14% of those clients are actually exiting to permanent housing, meaning that adult-only households without veterans exit into permanent housing at far lower rates than any of the other groups. And here we can also see that on average, families are exiting to permanent housing at the highest rates. Children and youth households exit from permanent housing from rapid rehousing at the highest rates out of any other group. And low exits to permanent housing from emergency shelter for adults only households with veterans or all adults only households. So this suggests that more supportive services are needed for those groups. Next, I want to look at the days homeless in the system of care. So adult-only households without a veteran are in the system the longest at 213 days, which is about 7 months. And child and youth households have the shortest length of stay at an average of 89 days. So next, I want to look at returns to the system of care. So this looks at clients that exited into permanent housing and then later returned to the system. So the bar represents the percentage of clients in that household that is returning to the system. And you can also see how long it is taking clients to return back into the system as well. So adults only households without veterans return to the system after being placed in permanent housing at the highest rates. And they return to the system sooner than any other groups at an average of 138 days. And then also adult only households with a veteran had no returns to the system during the reporting period. And for families and child and youth households, return to the system at a similar rate of 2%. So just to wrap everything up, adult-only households without a veteran seems to spend more time in the homeless system of care, exit to permanent housing less frequently, and return to the system sooner at a higher rate than any other group that we looked at. So with that being said, more housing and supportive services are needed that reflect the needs of each group. So for adult-only households without a veteran, permanent housing and supportive services. For adult-only households with a veteran, it would be permanent housing with supportive services as well. And for families, it would be rapid rehousing, homeless prevention, and DV support. For child and youth households, it would be rapid rehousing and homelessness prevention. And that's all I have for the LSA. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. And we understand that this is a lot of information. We will be providing all of this information in our wrap-up newsletter that we send out, and the materials will be available on our website. Amy?
Thank you, Diana. Project Performance Report. The Street Outreach Performance Goals and Outcomes reports will be published in the upcoming weeks. Current and past PPRs can be found on the Orange County HMIS website at OCHMIS website, navigate to reports, and then project performance reports. Corrections for the homelessness prevention PPR draft data will be uploaded into the Dropbox this week. The project performance overview is a helpful document that provides important information regarding the PPRs, including the thresholds for each goal and our publishing schedule.
Rachel?
Yes, please join us on Thursday, August 14th from 1 to 2 p.m. For the Data and Performance Management meeting as we dive into data quality, integrity, and performance. Please note that we have adjusted the quarterly meetings to Thursdays to prevent any recurring community meeting conflicts. And our agenda will be as follows: quarterly report review, project performance reports, PSH, and other permanent housing, as well as rapid rehousing and transitional housing. Quarter 2 data quality report cards. And then there will be a discussion sharing agency contacts for care coordination. And then goal 5, unit utilization report.
Michaela?
Thank you. We have some valuable resources and trainings we're happy to share with you. So for our training and resources, we have our OC HMIS trainings. We have our HMIS client privacy and data collection best practices, Tuesday, August 26th at 1 p.m. And there is no need to register for this training. We also have a few additional resources, which is our community resource. Helpful coordinated entry resources may be found on our COC's OCCES Academy website.
Okay, our HMIS meeting survey, we have provided the meeting survey link in our links document that was shared earlier in our chat. We will also be sending this out as well in our wrap-up newsletter. But the survey helps us know what topics you're interested in reviewing in upcoming monthly meetings. So we do review this and do take your suggestions. Any feedback is helpful. We do like to be as collaborative as possible so that we can get the information out to the community, because your question may not be the only person in the community asking that question. So we would love to share any new topics. Michaela?
Holidays observed. The HMIS Help Desk will be closed on Monday, September 1st in observance for Labor Day. We will be back in the office Tuesday, September 2nd to assist.
Okay, that brings us to our Q&A session. If you haven't already done so, please enter your agency's name in the chat box for attendance. This is important for just so we know who's in the meeting, but also for some reporting. So it's very important that you put your agency's name and your name in the chat box. If anyone has any questions, please enter them into the Q&A box. Or you can unmute yourself if you have questions regarding the topics that we have covered so far in this meeting. Okay, it doesn't look like we're getting any questions. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you have a great day. Our next user meeting is September 3rd. And again, that's on the first Wednesday of every month. If you would like to hang on for our general Q&A office hours, you can. This gives you an opportunity to ask questions regarding general HMIS topics. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.